Okay, well, here we are back again. You're probably going to get 2 videos because I think I just hit stop. Anyway, so now I got my favorite little snips here, and you're going to just snip those right up to where you stitched. And please always make sure that you snip the tails too, because otherwise you're going to get a really big thready mess. So snip off, I don't know where my trash can is. Snip off your threads too. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to, I have a little pressing station where Katie's out over here, maybe over here. I have set up. You guys are like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I have my little wool mat and my iron, and I always, when I'm paper piecing, I always put that right by my sewing machine. I'm a little mess around here, you guys. Frazzled. Oh, look what happened. Darn it.
She didn't stitch it.
Why don't you just start this whole thing over?
What'd she do? No thread?
No, it flipped up. My piece flipped up.
Donna, take a deep breath.
Because I'm here, I can almost promise you. Sometimes you catch the bus, sometimes it runs over you.
Love it. I love it. Okay, now I for real have it sewed. So now I'm going to flip this up and just give it a little press. And really, you could even just finger press it. You don't even really need. Okay, so I'm just pressing that down.
Is your iron even on?
No, it's cold.
Try on.
Why isn't it on?
Is it plugged in?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that needs to get flipped on.
No, because my machine's on.
Oh.
We don't know. We don't know why the iron won't turn. Oh, I just sprayed myself.
It's on now.
It's Friday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
There we go. Now it'll heat up. Okay, so now we'll go back over here to my other little station. I'm the comic relief this morning, obviously.
Oh,
Where's Christine? Oh, she's on vacation. I'm sorry you guys are stuck with me.
Donna, you have one on the floor underneath your foot.
I don't know. That's my little sample.
Oh, you don't care if it's down.
Okay, so now we did between A1 and A2 on here. Did A1 and A2. So now we're going to do between A1 and A3. Okay, so we're going A1, A2, A3. So now we're going to do A3. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim it. So this line right here is where we're going to sew. So on that line, the other thing I'm going to add a quarter if you don't have my favorite little missing cardboard. Oh, there it is. I really am a mess. Okay, if you don't have one of these, the add a quarter plus rulers, which are the ones that we carry in the store now, do have, this is kind of slanted, so you can actually use this edge to fold. So then you don't have to have the little card. So between 1 and 2, here's where I'm folding it. Between A1 and A3. Okay, you see that, Katie? Right there is where I put it. I'm going to fold, yep, I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm going to flip this around and put that paper right in the groove of that fold. Okay? Okay. And then I'm going to trim the whole thing. And now it'll be easier because I don't have a pin stuck in there. Okay, so now I have trimmed that, open that back up. And then that's right where I'm going to lay my next orange. And you can tell, looking at your pattern, if you should be using white or orange. Okay, it is color coded. So follow those colors. So then I need another orange. Okay, so I'm going to put this orange right where I just made my cut. And you want to make sure that it goes at least a quarter inch. These are nice big pieces, so it'll go. One thing with paper piecing, it is very precise, but you do waste more fabric than normal just because you got to make sure you have extra to be able to trim off.
Sure.
Okay, so now that's between A1 and A3. So I'm turning it over on the line side, and I'm going to stitch right on between A1 and A3.
So you start about a stitch before?
Yes, I do like to do that because, and sometimes on my other machine, sometimes I even hit reverse. Oh, I just came unthreaded. Why did it do that?
So when you go to the end of that line, do you go over a stitch? Okay.
Yep.
And
I do a stitch or two even, because when you go to tear all that paper off, if your stitches aren't secure, you're gonna pull your stitches out when you peel off the paper. So. These are
I
kind of.
couldn't see that hole if you paid me $1 million.
Well, I'm not seeing it very well myself.
My friend the needle threader.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nice. I saw somebody use a toothbrush. So you
Just kind of push it through.
Bristles up and put the thread like going across. Put your needle down, just kind of wiggle. The bristles push it right through.
Nice. Okay, so remember to trim, snip, whatever, snip all those threads off. Believe me, you do not want, you'll be a mess by the time. Okay, now I think our iron's hot, so now I'm gonna press this like that.
Oh, look at there.
Yep. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going around, right? And the really cool thing, if you trim your orange strips 2 at a time, and you just keep them. You use the top one, take the next one over, use the next, and you go around. Then you'll have a good
Pattern.
You'll have a good yeah. They'll be. You'll have a good it'll mix up well. Yeah, it'll mix up well. Like you won't have 2 next to each other if you follow the numbers and just kind of go through your. Okay, so now let's see. I'm gonna cut another one. I would have had these all cut, really.
It is Friday.
We have to cut these, right?
Yeah, you'll want to cut these all ahead of time, and then you can just boom do it, go in a row. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is A4 because we've done 1, 2, and 3. So now we're gonna do 4. So I'm gonna lay my ruler right there between A1 and A4 on that line, and then I'm gonna fold the paper back on that line. Okay, and then this is what I'm gonna trim off. So I'm gonna flip my ruler back around, line that up right in the groove, and trim off all this extra. Okay, that's what we're doing. Except I didn't get it folded very straight, holding it up in the air. So you want to work on a nice flat surface. Not hold it up in the air and fold it right on the line.
So you need a yard cut off of that.
Okay. So now I know right where to lay my next orange piece. Right along that line. Okay. And then turn it over and sew on that side. So you're putting, like you said here, we're putting right sides together. So that's why that first one you put right side up. All the rest of them go right side down. But that very first one has to be up.
So it's sew, press, trim.
Yeah, once you get kind of in a rhythm, it goes pretty fast, especially if you have all your pieces cut. Okay. And snip my threads. Okay, now we're going to press this up like that. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then you guys will kind of get the idea, right? Because then the next round we're going to do are the whites. So, okay, so now we're on to A5. So you find your line there. Maybe if I use this, it'll be a little better. A5. And press your paper down. Okay, so you've got all that. And then lay that edge where you folded in the groove of your add a quarter, or put your 1/4 inch seam on there, and then trim all that off. with the trimmer, not the snips. The snips won't work. Okay, so now this is where we're going to put our next orange piece. Just go round and round.
I think we should take her rotary cutter away from her. A little scary.
A little bit scary. Okay, so then here's where you can really tell you're really centering. You can kind of see your white piece underneath. So you want to have about the same amount hanging over on both sides. So you're just kind of centering that. And then flip it over and sew on that line between A1 and A5.
Nobody wanted the whole bowl. It's all good. Yeah, that is good.
And you're backstitching.
I'm kind of cheating back stitching because I'm just kind of pulling my piece toward me a little bit. I know it's probably a bad habit, but
So we shouldn't.
I on my machine, my FOF machine at home that I have a backstitch button, I do backstitch like 1 or 2 stitches.
Oh, you do?
I do.
When you pull it will pull stitches.
So I didn't trim that at the right place. But well, it's still gonna go over. No, it's not gonna go past the line. So I have to unsew. When I trimmed, I didn't put my add a quarter ruler on the right place. That's a good reason not to. See if I can just unpick it with.
These other bolts up under the purple.
Those little snip things are pretty schmancy.
Oh my gosh, I love these Kai snips. They're really good. Okay.
Way better than a seam ripper.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do take 2 on this one. I did really
5, right?
Yes. Yeah, but see how much I did it at the next line up is what happened. See, I've got exactly. Now we're on the right line. I sewed it on the right line. I just hadn't cut it on the right line, so it wasn't big enough to flip all the way up. Which one did I do? This one. Okay. See, I had sewed it like way down there.
Oh.
But see, no worries.
So it wasn't this one, it was the one before that you did wrong.
No, it was this one. I folded it on that
Oh,
line to cut instead of this line down here. But we got it now. We are good to go. Okay. Snip, snip, snip. Okay. Okay, and then press, and I've got my whole first center little things. And then the whites are going to go around this way, and you just keep going on. And then your next 2 rounds are orange. So there's actually there's the white in the center, around to orange,
In the corners.
around to white, and then 2 rounds of orange. Yeah, and then the corners are white on the very corners. And then just want to talk a little bit about, I wish I would have had one of these done up to the point, but okay, so then you're gonna paper piece this little guy, and it's marked. This one has B's instead of A's, but same thing, you want to start with B1, and this one you're just gonna piece straight across. So you start with the little one, and that's going to be white, and it is color coded. So you got white, green, and then a little corner of white, and then the brown for the stem, and then white on the side. So then it ends up looking like that.
Cool.
Okay, and then you also want to once you have your A's and B's piece, all your A's done for your pumpkin, all the B's done for the stem and the leaf. Then you're going to sew those 2 sections together with a 1/4 inch seam. And I did peel. You can peel all your papers off before you sew those together. I just left these on to show you guys what it looked like. But see, if you use the look how easy that tears off the Carol Dope paper, and also because I used really tiny stitches, and so that perforates it better too. So okay,
Rip it off.
yep. So then you just rip all your papers off, and then after you sew, if you'll see on your instructions on your white, I said to cut 2, let's see, from the white 1.5, the 2 1/4 inch strips, you're cutting 1 2 1/4 inch square and 2 4-inch by 2 1/4 inch rectangle pieces, really little strips. Okay, so then 2 4.5 by 2 1/4 and 2 4 by 2 1/4. That's what it is. Okay, so the 2 4, anyway, 2 of them you use on the sides. One, I think you do the bottom. I did the bottom first. It's numbered on the sheet. So A28 is the bottom. So you're going to use a 4-inch for that one.
A26.
A26.
You said 28. Is correct.
A26, yeah, A26. Sorry, is the bottom. Okay, so you're gonna sew, and that's part of paper piecing your pumpkin. Okay, but that's what those long strips are for. And 2, I would actually
before you take the paper off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't.
Yeah, it's all part of this. See?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna do the round pumpkin part, and then you sew the bottom and the sides on, and then you're done
26,
with that
27,
piece. Yeah.
28, and
Yeah.
then you take all the paper
Yeah.
off.
So you might, yeah.
Can I interrupt a
Yeah.
second? Are you putting, you're doing the bead after you do your sides?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and see on the outer dotted lines. Okay, let me show you on this. On the outer dotted lines, okay, look on your paper and you see those those are part of your block because that's your seam allowance when we go to put the whole thing together. So that's your that outer dotted line is your cutting line, not the solid line. Okay, the outer cutting line, not the solid line.
Good deduction. Thank you.
So then that top one, then
The same thing.
yeah, yes, the same thing with the top one. So when you're laying your pieces out, you want to make sure that your pieces go all the way out past those dotted lines so you have some to trim off. Okay? Okay. And so then this dotted line and this dotted line, those are your seam allowances when you're putting these two together. So you're actually going to be sewing on that line to that line. But that's what'll be your 1/4 inch because you're not going to be sewing on the paper. You're just sewing those two sections together.
And then you take the paper off.
I would take the paper off before you sew them together
Okay.
because you don't need it. You don't need it to sew. You don't need the paper to sew on it. Okay. Then that last, you're going to have one last like 4.5 inch by 2 1/4 inch piece left. And you're just going to sew that onto the top.
Okay.
So if you want to take a picture of this, that might help you at the end when you because this top piece is not it's not really on the pattern, okay? But I do tell you to add another white strip to the top. At the bottom it says the directions at the bottom, they're just very basic, but starting with your square in the center, foundation piece, each section as color-coded. Then you're going to sew those two sections together with a 1/4 inch seam.
What white? What?
Then it says add another white strip.
But you've already cut
Yeah,
them
you've
up here.
cut them.
Okay.
You've cut them.
Okay.
And actually, I would change that to, I would just cut 4.5 by 2 1/4. Then you'll make sure you won't use the wrong one because this is 4.5 inches. But really, well, okay,
Cut. Where did you cut? Where? Cut what?
up here, these two 4.5 by 2 and 2 4 by 2 1/4. No, by 2 1/4. Yeah, you could just cut them all at 4.5.
And then just trim it.
Yeah, and trim it. Then that way you don't. Because now I can't remember when I was doing it which ones. But these, I mean, because you're sewing this on, you probably only need 4 inches for the sides. But you probably could do 3 4-inch and 1 4.5. But if you just do them all,
So what did you say to do 4?
Just do 4. Just do just cross this off. Or is that the 4? Is that the 4.5?
4.5 by 2 1/4.
Okay, so cut Put 4. Just cut 4, and then just cut scratch that out. Yeah, just cut 4, 4 1/4,
Okay.
4, 4 1/2 by 2 1/4. It's clear as mud, right?
I'm so glad I came.
I know. And I'll send you the videos so you can laugh at me later.
Oh, so I can go, oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, that's what she said. So yeah, then, but once you sew that 2 1/4 on, this is going to be pretty tall, so just trim it down to however long, not more than 5 inches, because that's all your back is.
Okay, so you trimmed yours
So
to
I
4.5?
trimmed mine to 4 1/2. So it's a little tiny bit taller, a 1/2 inch taller than it is wide, because it's only 4 1/2. Now it's like 5, I think it's 5 inches. No, it's 4 1/2. Oh, by 4. That's why I said you only need 4, because it's only 4. So it's 4 1/2 by 4.
I don't do math.
You don't have to worry about it. Everything in your kit has been cut, and if you cut those 4 1/2, you'll have plenty. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Did you put that back down?
Yes, take a picture of that, and then where's my kit?
Where's my kit?
I don't know yours from mine from ours.
Then, well, mine only has a couple. So all that's left in my kit is the batting and the backing. Okay.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
You're fine. You're just fine. You want to take a picture of that, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, so now you have 2 pieces of batting and a backing. And I just said follow the directions on page 10 and 11 in your book to put your penny together. And it's the same as we did the maple leaf one. But I did go ahead and put a piece of batting under this, under the pumpkin. So see, you can see we gave you plenty big enough piece to put that on there after you take all the papers off. And then I did do some top stitching on my penny on the pumpkin to the batting. So it's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. And then I also took the backing and the batting and did a little bit of quilting stitches on those too before I put the whole thing together. So I just did some just straight diagonal lines. Well, I don't know about straight, but they're diagonal. Depends on what day of the week it was.
We love you, Donna.
I sew crooked on every day that ends with Y, but that's okay.
Yo.
Okay, so then just real quick, I know this is in your book, but then you're just gonna, after you have those all quilted together, you're gonna put those right sides together, and so leave like 1.5 inches open at the bottom to fill up with your walnut shells. And a really good tip that Christine gave us last month is to put something kind of between, like she said she used like press and seal. What did you say? Tape, painter's tape. The other thing is we do have these little funnels between when you're getting ready to fill up. So this is gonna be all sewn shut except for a little opening. So just putting something in there to fill the walnut shells, because they could get your white a little bit dirty, yeah, and they're just a little bit. They're crushed walnut shells, so they're very creamy. So, and Christine kind of noticed that it just kind of dingied her white a little bit when she didn't use that. So, but I leave my opening. I like to use this little funnel too. Use a little funnel that you can fill up your.
Another thing Christine mentioned was kind of whack it down so it gets into the corners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of do a little pounding to let it settle. Just kind of bounce it on the table.
You'll probably really be pounding by then.
It's a lot of work for a little tiny block making this, but it's so worth it. You guys, it's so cute.
That'd be fun with like an apple.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, do it in reds. Yes. Yeah, you could do it in reds for a little teacher gift.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah, all kinds of fun things. Okay, we're gonna sign off because you guys have been watching me long enough. Bye.